gonna backfire massively. I can feel it already. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about using your body in the best and smartest way to get the most out of what you can do, or if I'm honest, cheating. We're just gonna cheat everything, like cheating all the moves, doing everything so that it makes it easier for you. That is what we're doing today. Don't tell your teachers. I'm so sorry, other teachers. It's a huge part of my life. If you're a professional aerialist, you cheat things. It just happens. So before we get started, I just want to remind you to please like and subscribe to my channel because I have new aerial videos coming out all the time. I try to do 2 a week and I will take your requests. So if there's something you'd like to learn about, let me know. As a teacher, I have to tell you that of course it is important to train all of these moves. It is important to try things that are hard for you and you should push to do it the right way. But sometimes also maybe you have a performance and you're just not quite where you want to be with a certain move yet. Maybe you're trying to do a photo shoot. Maybe you're trying to get a good Instagram video. Sometimes you just need to know how to cheat and it's going to make your life easier and better to be able to cheat and then also do it the right way eventually. Don't give up doing it the right way because that's also really important. I'm not saying that. Don't do that. Other aerial teachers will come find me, so please don't do that. What I'm gonna do is talk about some different types of moves and then I'm gonna tell you a few little tricks that if you're struggling with that type of move, you can use to kind of get around that. First off, in all of your aerial life, training, performances, whatever, don't be afraid to change a move. One of the things that I love the most about aerial is that everybody can be themselves. Everybody can be very individual. Very rarely are you having to be uniform with other people in the air. You're normally doing a solo and you can make it your own, which is so fantastic, especially coming from a dance background like mine, where you're drilled all the time to fit into the corps de ballet, fit into the group. With aerial, we kind of can get past that. So don't be afraid to change a move. So often I will see a move someone's doing that I love on YouTube or on Instagram and I'll be like, oh, I want to try that. And when I try it, maybe it doesn't quite work the same on my body. Maybe it uses something that I'm not great at. What I do is I'll take the spirit of the move, I'll take what I like about it, and then I'll change it up. Or maybe I'll get halfway through the move and then think, oh, I could actually go into something completely different from this point. So be super open-minded anytime you're training. If you think to yourself like, oh, I'd like to do this, or I'd like to go in this direction, go with it, because being confident to make things your own is gonna make your life so much easier. And also it's going to make your process more productive when you're working on new things. Let's talk about splits, because all the time I have people messaging me and asking, can you help me with my splits? I'm struggling to get my splits. And I do have some stretching videos on my channel that will help you get your splits and help you stretch specifically for splits, so check those out. But if you're struggling with getting that flat, like 180-degree split, then here's a couple of things you can do. First off, you can open your split so it's not entirely square. Obviously, the ideal split is going to be one square line like this. You want to have one leg in front, one leg in back, and together they're making one straight line with your hips facing the front leg squarely and not too open. However, if you want to cheat, and this is going to be easier for flexibility, you can open your front leg and your hip. You can roll your hip and open it, turning it towards the back leg just a little bit, and you can keep that front leg in front or even pull that front leg a little to the side. A lot of times when I'm doing splits in the air, I'm not actually doing a straight vertical line split like this. I'm actually opening my front leg slightly to the side and going into almost like an Alice Akon turned out position. That's going to be a lot easier for you to look flexible and to make it look more like an oversplit. However, you do need to get your splits. So don't just start doing only this. You need to keep working towards your square splits. There's also moves that just because of the way your body's positioned, it's going to make you do a more open split. You just can't, like the alien split, for example. That's gonna be a leg to the side. Also with middle splits, you're not actually in a middle split a lot of the time. You'll see someone who's doing a move that is a straddle, box split, middle split move, but in fact, they have their legs in much more of a V. So it may look like they're doing some kind of crazy oversplit, middle split, but actually it's just a V, and everyone can sit with their legs in a V. Even if it's a small V, everyone can do that. So that's a great way to look impressive to someone who's got a less trained eye and use those middle split positions when in fact you actually don't need to be that flexible for a lot of them. Another thing you can do to hide a less than perfect split is to do a half split. So you have a straight front leg and then you're bending your back leg at 90 degrees. It's weird, but it does just make you look more like you're doing a full split if that back leg's bent. Also, you can reach back and grab the back leg with your hand, which is a great option because it looks really cool, it's a little bit different, and it's gonna make an optical illusion to show that you're having a full split when maybe you don't really. And one more trick for splits is to do a stag where you have both legs bent. If you are really struggling with hamstring flexibility, this is a good sort of stopgap measure until you get your hamstrings a little bit more bendy. The stag's a great option for any time your legs are both in the air off the bar. So if you're doing like an under the bar split, a gazelle can be a stag. Anytime your legs aren't bearing weight, that's a great time to throw in a stag. My splits are very comfortable for me at this point, but I'll throw in a stag anyway just to give another shape. Here's one of my dark aerial secrets. I hate the trapeze mount. The first move that you learn when you show up to your first class, the trapeze mount is not my friend. Because of body proportion, I struggle with it. I hit my feet. It's not cute on me. I will do basically anything to avoid it when I'm doing an act I'm gonna perform, or even video, or even be seen by other humans. Fortunately, there are lots of other mounts, like the straddle mount, which is a great option if you have longer legs, or the pullover mount, that's also a great option. There's a lot of good options for getting in the hoop without having to actually do your trapeze mount. A little bit more of a struggle is getting from the bottom of the hoop to the top of the hoop. I have a couple of cheats that I use to avoid that. The first is to do the push-up split. Basically, lean your whole body out of the hoop. You put a foot on the bottom, and then you push your hips towards the top, and you come into a split with your hands holding the top and your hips roughly the level of the top bar. This is a balance move, so you do want to just practice it until you feel really comfortable with your balance. You don't want to go too much one way or the other, but that will come if you practice it. Also, it just looks really impressive. It looks like, hey, I'm doing an extra split in here, which is great because people think that I'm trying hard when I'm in fact just cheating as hard as I can. Another great one is the little foot push up to the top bar through a stag. There's your stag again, which I have a tutorial for on my channel, which should be, it's here, it's somewhere, I don't know. It's on your screen. I'll put a link in the description for that one. But basically you're just pushing up through a stag position to hook your leg on the top bar. And again, it looks like you're doing an extra trick when in fact you're just avoiding the trapeze mount. And then finally, if you're doing a move that needs a foot on the bottom bar or near the bottom bar, like the Scorpio split, the Russian split, any of those kind of family of moves, there's a great way to do that through a clockwork split preparation. I have filmed a tutorial for that and I will be putting it up soon, hopefully this week, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But that clockwork entry into that family of splits is much nicer than I think the trapeze mount where you roll all the way through. Another one that people tend to struggle with is your knee hang. Anything in a HOCKS position, a double HOCKS, a single HOCKS. It can be really hard when you are especially starting out to build that strength in your legs to feel comfortable hanging only by your legs. Obviously because of physics and gravity. If you have the bar of the hoop and your knee is over the bar of the hoop with your foot below your knee, you cannot come off the boot. You cannot. It's impossible. So a great option while you're working towards feeling comfortable in that is to pull your foot down with either your hand or your other knee if you're doing a single HOCKS position. This is also great for drops where even if you feel very comfortable in your knee hang position, it might be scary to drop into it. So this is a great one to use for a drop. There's a couple of options to look really pretty with that hand pulling your foot down. I do one in a lot of my acts where I'm pulling my foot down with the opposite arm, and then I'm pulling my other leg straight while I have my knee hooked on the bar. Dark aerial secret number 2. I've mentioned this before in some of my videos. I don't have a bendy back. Like my back, for a dancer, it's like an average level of flexibility. But the rest of my body is very, very hypermobile, and it's always made me crazy that my back is a very different level of flexibility than the rest of my body. One of the ways that I kind of make up for that is that I throw my head back whenever I'm doing a back bendy position. So if I'm back bending, I've got my head all the way back here. I'm really trying to put the back of my head as far back as I can. If you're facing the ground, think about looking up, or if you are upright, think about just throwing that neck back as much as possible. Obviously, be gentle with your neck at all times because neck injuries are not fun, but that is a great way to make it look like you are more bendy than you are. Another great way is to have your hair down. If you have medium to long hair, that hair is going to fall towards the ground when you back bend, and that's going to make it look like you're doing a much more extreme back bend than you are, which is why you see so many of my videos with my hair down, because I am trying to milk the most possible out of that back bend. In general, for all of your moves, if it's a split, if it's a back bend, if it's something that you're doing that you don't feel is the most complimentary on your body, you can always just go for visual misdirection. It's the old like stage magician, make them look somewhere else trick. Of course, there's your face, so if you have something interesting and emotional happening on your face, then that is going to make people want to look at your face as much as they're looking at your body. But you can also do things like maybe you have an arm and you can do a hand, you can do like some extra port de bras, you could do a head roll, you could do anything else to like distract. The human eye is drawn to movement. So if you are moving some part of your body while another part is more still, that's going to draw the eye. So you can use that to draw the eye away from your bent knee or sickled foot. And finally, spinning. Spinning is your friend. I know that we struggle with it a lot, but oh my God, it's so much your friend. First off, everything looks better with a spin. Anytime you're spinning, it's gonna make your position look so much better just from that. You can also use your spin to hide things, especially if the audience is looking directly at you or a camera is looking directly at you. You can use your spin to hide a less pretty part of a move. For example, when I do my push up to the top bar move to avoid my trapeze mount, I flex my foot at one point, and it's not awful, but it's just not the cutest thing ever. So to hide that, I will wait a half second till I'm in the part of the spin where that foot is facing away from the audience, and it disappears like magic. It's amazing. Like I said at the beginning of this video, please, 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 please don't use these moves to ignore the correct way to do things. There is a correct way to do things, and it's correct for a reason. And it's super rewarding for you when you make it to the point that you can do that. But with these little cheats, you can bridge the gap until you reach the correct way to do things. Have an option. Sometimes you have an off day. Sometimes you're not feeling great. Sometimes your body just doesn't want to do it. And that's a great time to just add in a little cheat and help yourself out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have a request for something you would like to see a video about, I am looking for ideas. So please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and like and click the bell and all of those YouTube things. We have such a great community of people on my channel that is growing all the time. And you guys, it's amazing.